All right, so I'm going to give you a quick rundown here of your combination landscape part 2. Now, the tricky part about this assignment is you have to choose what parts and pieces that you want to use. So I'm going to give you some files to pick from, but what you do with those files is up to you. Now, um, in case you need a refresher on how to do this, go ahead and rewatch the videos for part 1, and that's going to show you that same process of how to go about eliminating parts of your image that you don't want. Now, you're going to select at least 3 images that you want to combine into one combinational landscape. Now, I've added this folder here, so if we were to click on here, you're going to see that I've added some images to a folder in Google that you can download. Now, I know some of you have picked some images already from burst.shopify and added them to your places folder. Those can work great. You just want to be thoughtful on what your foreground is, which is what would be in the front, the middle ground, which is what would be in the middle, and then the sky for the background. So essentially, you're looking for 3 images at minimum to combine into one image. So if we were to take a look here, you're going to see that some of these images are vertical. So they're in portrait, so they're straight up. And then you're going to see some of these images that are vertical or landscape. Okay. You want to be thoughtful on which ones you combine. You can combine these landscape ones to your portrait ones, fine, but it makes it really difficult to add your portrait images to your landscape images. So if you're picking one format, whether it's tall and skinny or wide and fat, try and stick to just collecting images that are that, because it's going to make it a lot easier. Okay. Now, if I were to look at some of these images, the sky for this background is great, or even like the lighthouse with maybe this water here. And then for this image, there's not a lot going on in the middle ground. So this would be really good for maybe a foreground image. And then maybe behind these flowers, you would have like a mountain. And then behind the mountain, you would have some kind of crazy sky. We're familiar with the hot air balloons. This makes for a really great background. This one is a good sky. It's also a good middle ground. You could add something in the foreground there too. So these are just kind of some examples. Hopefully you're starting to see kind of maybe get some ideas of what you could do with some of these images. This is a really great middle ground, and you could add a background and a foreground to this one. And so it's just thinking about kind of what can you do with these images, and that's the real trick or problem that we're trying to solve today is how do we be creative and how do we select parts of these images to then combine into one. This is all up to you. I'm here to help, but be sure that you're being thoughtful. And if you need help, please let me know.